What's up, everyone? Welcome to Power Play with CJ. Today we're going to focus in on our top prospect in the 2012 NHL Draft, Alex Galchenyuk, center for the Sarnia Sting. Suffered a serious knee injury and has not played this season, but last year, his first year in the OHL, had 83 points in 68 games with Sarnia, as him and his running mate, Nail Yakupov, the projected number 1 pick in this upcoming draft, had quite a year. Both of them, the two young. Yakupov's Russian, Galchenyuk's of Ukrainian descent. His father played pro hockey in North America, and he was born in Milwaukee. Galchenyuk's obviously a little too exotic to be a Milwaukee born and bred, but he's an American citizen. Played bantam hockey and midget hockey in Chicago, and would have been on the U.S. World Junior team, but obviously had the knee injury, so he's couldn't play. I think he would have made a very big impact this year. He's a center. Their forward depth was tested at times, and he brings a very, very good two-way acumen, much like two of his would-be teammates on the World Junior team, Jason Zucker and I think Charlie Coyle, that play a sound defensive game as well as great on the offensive side of the puck. I liken Galchenyuk to I think Igor Larionov made the Marian Hossa comparison. And I see that to a certain degree. In the two-way game he plays, he's a center where Hossa's a wing. Hossa can play, anywhere. Hossa's a player you have out there in all situations. He can kill penalties. He's a sniper on the power play. Can light you up at even strength, and has scored 40 goals and had 100 points several times. So, if you can become the player that Hossa is, that's what you want to aim for. Hossa is obviously a Stanley Cup champ. I don't know if he's ever medaled at the Olympics, but obviously Slovakia is not. He's having Canada or Russia, and I think the knee injury that sets him back a little bit. But had it not been the knee injury, I think he'd be a top 3 pick in the draft behind, his running mate Nail Yakupov and fellow Russian Michael Grigorenko from the Quebec Ramparts. He's two talented Russians and a Ukrainian via Milwaukee as the top prospects, but he's definitely going to be a top 8 pick in the draft. I'd say top 10, but definitely I can't see him going lower than the 8th pick. It's a pretty deep draft this year. A lot of good forwards and some pretty good defensemen in there too. A lot of guys you've heard a lot about over the years that are finally draft eligible. So it's pretty cool to see them, going to be putting jerseys on draft day and stepping into an NHL lineup eventually. I think he's, like I said, had enough of the knee injury. I think he'd be in the NHL next year, but I think he needs another year in juniors. If anything, he gets timing back. And I don't know if he's going to play this year or not. That hasn't been confirmed or denied by anyone. With the modern surgical precision that goes into knee injuries, like, who's it? Malkin bounced back. Malkin would have played in the finals last year if Pittsburgh went that far. Obviously, they didn't, but Malkin had a similar injury. The turnaround time is so much different than it used to be. Knee injuries derailed Bobby Orr's career, and a lot of great players in the 70s and 80s. But due to medical technology these days, in preoperative treatment from the doctors, a lot of stuff heals on its own now because of stuff doctors have found over the years. We're not health talk radio. I'm sorry, but it's pretty cool. On a little side note, like how far medicine's come with regards to these injuries, and what preoperative treatment can do that gets you back on the ice sooner. It's pretty cool to see, and I only wish they had that back when Bobby Orr was playing. So number 4 could have done a lot more, and he obviously had a great distinguished career, but it was far too short. But back to Mr. Galchenyuk. I'd like to see the Lightning grab him, but I don't want to see the Lightning there in the top 8 picks, so they're ruled out. I think a team like Montreal would be perfect for him. The 2012 mock draft got him on there on mynhldraft.com. That's kind of where I got it from, but I also think it'd be a good fit up there. Well, I don't know if he speaks French or not, so that kind of rules that out. But I think if he goes to a team that has veterans around that he can learn from, and he plays a game ahead of his age, not too many kids can pick up the two-way game at a young age, and he's done that. Defensive hockey, learning the nuances of, becoming a 3-zone player. Patrice Bergeron was one of the few I saw that could come into the NHL at 18 and play a 200-foot game. It takes time, and at the center position, there's so many, things you got to worry about defensively, face-offs, all other shit that, are one thing in juniors, but a whole other thing in the NHL. You go from playing against 17, 18-year-old kids to playing against fully grown men. How does that translate to your game? But I think once Galchenyuk gets there, he's going to be a solid first line winger and definitely be one of the elite players in the game in the 200-foot game. Kind of like a Ryan Kessler or Bergeron. The Hossa comparison, like I said, that was Igor Larionov and Neil Saki a little better than I do, suffice it to say. But I think he's going to be a full 200-foot player that'll help you on the offensive zone and back check, kill penalties, block shots, do all that, and be the ultimate competitor and a piece of a Stanley Cup champion team wherever he ends up. I think he's really that kind of guy. Like I said with Hossa, Hossa got Chicago over the top after falling short twice. You go to a roster that's great. You have a very good roster, and a guy like that makes it great. Makes it one of the elite teams that you can do a lot of things with. That's all I got for Mr. Galchenyuk. I wish him the best in his recovery from his knee injury, and I hope to see him go high in the 2012 NHL entry draft. That's it for this episode of the Power Play with CJ Draft 2012 Draft Special. Stay tuned for more episodes. Later, guys.